Hello, and this video we're going to take a quick look at Wei Wei, a legendary grade support class Elune. When Wei Wei gets to 6 stars and max level, her HP isn't too bad, her attack is decent, and her physical and magic defense are also pretty good. Her attack speed at base 110 makes her able to move quickly, and you kind of want her to move in the first turn anyway, so that she can apply her buffs for your team. As you transcend her up and get her up to the max plus 5, her HP goes to a very high amount, as well as her attack being pretty decent at 9.6k, and her physical and magic defense both being close to 6k base. Taking a look at her skills, her first skill, the normal Tapioca Pearls, is just a 3-hit standard magic damage skill. Nothing too amazing, nothing too spectacular, but it is just a multi-hit skill that is used to inflict magic damage. As the skill increases, the damage increases to a decent amount, but it is just a basic magic damage skill. Her special skill is one of the main reasons that you want to get Wei Wei, and why you should farm for her and do the quest to obtain her and then get her skilled up. As Wei Wei is a free Elune, it is definitely worth the effort. This skill provides an enhanced buff that increases the physical defense and magic defense of your entire team. At its base level 1, it is 20% of her max HP, and it is for 3 turns. It then heals the HP of any ally that has her buff by 50% of her attack whenever that Elune, your ally Elune, is attacked by an enemy. This means that if she has decent amount of attack, she will be healing your Elunes a lot every time they get hit. Also, she reduces the damage they take by increasing their physical and magic defense. As this skill is leveled up, the amount of the buff increases to 30% of her max HP, goes to 4 turns, and the heal amount based on when they're attacked is 80% of her attack. So having her on a high HP gives you more defense, having her on high attack gives you more healing. Or you can go with a balance and have both. Her ultimate skill is another reason that you want to get her, as it helps you do more damage to the targets. This one is an enhanced buff that increases the attack of all allies. At its base, it is 50% for 1 turn. Anytime an ally uses any of their special or ultimate skills, it refreshes the duration of the buff back to 1 turn. This is at skill level 1. As you level it up and get it to level 6, the buff goes up to 90% of their attack, and it lasts for 2 turns, meaning that if you do not have the souls to use a special or ultimate skill on the turn by an ally, it'll go down to 1 turn, but then on their next turn, if they do use it, it will reset back up to 2 turns. So it is definitely worth investing the skill ups into this to get it up to that 2 turns, so that you don't need to keep refreshing this, and it will always be applied. Her first passive increases the attack of all your allies except for Wei Wei herself by 10%, meaning that just by having her in the team, everybody does 10% more attack. This can help with damage dealers or with supports or healers that have heals based on attack. Her second passive gives a buff to a random ally to increase their attack by 20% for 2 turns. This does stack with her other buff, which is a 90% when maxed out, giving your team or that team member a 110% attack buff. The third passive that she has allows her to go first, gain more souls after she uses her buffs. I do not mean that the skill itself gives her the ability to move first, but having her set in your turn order or your speed to move first in your team, it will allow her to use her special or ultimate skill depending on if you want your increased protection or if you want increased attack. By using that on turn 1, she will reduce the souls down, but then she will also have 2 more souls gained whenever she has that turn. This allows her every time she gets a turn, if you have very few souls, to automatically gain 2 more souls if she gets a turn. This can allow your team to use their special ultimate skills more often. Taking a look at some of her skill gem effects, her first primary skill, the normal skill, its skill gems are Magic, Magic, and Crit. This one gives you a 10% chance to obtain 1 soul when your attack lands as a crit. As the chance is pretty low and that you have to crit to even have this chance, it is debatable whether or not you want to do it. I do it just for that extra chance of obtaining more souls, but you could just go with more attack on it. As the skill is only an attack skill, it really doesn't matter what you do because it doesn't have any other effect. Her special skill now, this one, the base is yellow, yellow, violent, and this one is something that you would want to do. You would want to do this one because it would then heal whenever you use this to buff your allies by 1.5% of their HP. That is nice because it does provide her with an additional heal whenever she gets a turn to buff. It is not a large heal, but it is still a heal, and it also gives her a speed increase. The other option for doing this would be to not do the heal and to increase the bonus that you get from this, and that would be to use another yellow skill gem. As for the last skill, the ultimate skill, this one too is a yellow, yellow, violent based one. This skill is a 10% chance of reducing damage all allies receive by 5% for 2 turns. As the chance is only 10% and it only reduces by 5%, it is not very high chance that it will happen, and even if it does, the damage reduction is pretty insignificant. So instead, increasing the attack percentage that you gain by adding an additional yellow skill gem increases the attack that they get, meaning that they can hit harder. This is typically a more beneficial effect than having the low chance of damage reduction. When doing the dimensional slate, it's random like they all are, but stats that you would want to focus on her, HP obviously for survival, attack would be good because it does help with her buffs as well as the HP, her physical and magic defense to give her better survival. The attack speed is also nice to have. She doesn't need accuracy because she doesn't land any debuffs or apply any effects. Her evasion would help her to evade attacks, but unless you're running something to buff and evasion with her, then the evasion is not going to be high enough to significantly help. The crit and crit power are typically meaningless for her. So primarily try to focus on your HP, your physical magic defense to help her be more tanky, the speed to help her go at a fast rate, and the attack to boost the effect of her buff on her special skill. Gear sets that you can use on Wei Wei are pretty numerous. There are many things you can do. You want to go for at least a high speed if you can, so that you can have her move turn 1 or turn 2 so that she can use her buffs to buff your entire team. Applying anything that, in the case of me, I'm going with a HP based offhand and an attack based primary weapon slots to give her the increased attack to enhance her buff, as well as the HP to enhance the buff also. The attack enhances the heal, the HP enhances the buff percentage. The other thing that I have on her is the increased for speed from her set on the support set. This gives her an additional speed, allowing her to move more efficiently or faster. The other set that I'm using is the Corrupted set, which gives her an additional soul at the end of every even number turn. You can use other sets to enhance her, but since you would want to use her in PvE situations against most bosses, and she would be pretty much a core member of every team, things that you would not want to use are any of these disciple sets, as you do not want to be giving her a shield whenever she goes. As one of the bosses, if you have a shield, they will take a turn and do soul damage to you. So not having the shield is beneficial. Most other sets would be pretty viable on her. The full moon set not so much, because you do not need to land any debuffs, but if you do want to go with a full moon set, the full set would be best, allowing her to reflect debuffs back to an attacker, as some people try to target her first whenever they're attacking, though most will ignore her and attack her later, as she doesn't provide anything more than just a buff. That's going to be it for this one. If you have any questions or comments, let me know below and I will answer them as soon as possible. Thank you.